All right, here we are. This is 5 Minutes of Fire, and I'm taking you through the tools found in the promotion playbook. We're currently in application skills, and so today we're going to talk about doing in-baskets. If you've never done one before, an in-basket test is it's common in many assessment centers for company officer positions, where they give you they'll give you all these different things that you need to prioritize. They could give them to you. Sometimes it's each one is a piece of paper, and the piece of paper has something that happens that day, or they may give it to you in a video. The delivery, there's a lot of different forms of delivery, how they can do this, but the concept is you get all these things you have to deal with. Then you need to prioritize them, and then you need to provide the best solution to the problem. So here is a few examples that you might come across. You might have an employee problem. You might have a community member you have to deal with. You might have a problem with one of your apparatus. You might have training that you have to get done that day or that tour. You might have some meetings that are coming up. So how do you manage time? How do you solve problems? And how familiar are you with the policies and procedures that relate to those problems? And also, how well do you delegate and manage your team? Here's some things that they evaluate during these assessments. Is they might score you, again, make sure you know as many details as possible about your test, but this is typically what they're going to evaluate you on. Your ability to identify key issues. Key issues, if you look at the 4 hazard zones, which I talked about previous, is safety, operational readiness, legal problems, and public relations. So if you know those the 4 areas, the 4 hazard zones, a lot of times those are areas that can rank as a higher priority. So identify key issues, set priorities, anticipate problems, create solutions, and give reasons. A lot of times there's not an exact way that you have to do these. Like, it's not like you're going to get 100% just because you chose the right category. A lot of times there's a lot of gray involved, and it's not so much how you prioritize it, but more your rationale as to why you chose to do it that way. And so if you choose to make something a certain way, it's more your solutions and your reasons than it is your priority. That being said, there are some things that can't be overlooked. I'm going to just say again, the four key areas, which I call the 4 hazard zone, is safety, operational readiness. Another way of saying that is emergency response, safety, operational readiness, public relations, and legal. You have to be prepared to speak on those 4 areas. And so there's 2 ways you can do this. So time and priority, and there's 2 templates that you can use to practice. You may even consider bringing this template in on test day if that is permitted, because this is just a simple format you can organize things. So one way, there's 2 ways that you can organize this, and it's going to vary depending on how your test is structured. One of them is by time. And so you want to structure the time of the day. And you just say you start at the first one, then you use chronological order to organize these. If you do that, then you put the time starting with the earliest time and progressively follow the chronological order. You put the problem, you put the priority, and then you give your solution. So time it took place, what was the problem, what was the priority, was it high, medium, or low, and what was your solution to that problem? Another way to organize this is you just want to put things in high priority, medium priority, or low priority. And then with that, you provide a solution. Sometimes they'll ask you to say, what do you see as the number 1 priority or 2 priority? Sometimes they may ask you to put these in a sequential order. That can be helpful. Just make sure that you provide a great solution, and that you're also able to speak to this as to why you chose to do it, and then back that with the policies and procedures of your department. Another great resource you could use in preparation for your in-basket is going to be on the previous chapter, or the previous tool was this role play size up sheet. And if you go back to this, if you look at page 1, where you make a pre-plan, is you're aware of all the people that can support you, the policies and procedures that can support you, and then other support such as local, state, federal, and anything else. This might be good to fill this out before you're in basket, because you can use these resources to solve these problems. So again, that is the role play size up sheet tool, which is a couple of pages before this. You might want to complete that also, because it could help. And then just make sure you're ready for the in baskets. How you choose to categorize it is going to be largely depending on the instructions that you're given. But these are some great ways to practice. Wish you the best of luck, and I'll talk to you on the next recording. Thanks.